Hey, tough and the out of this world story from Street Travel. There are ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back in Street Travel. I am your host, Mani.
Story 1. Update: Am I the a-hole for not forgiving my daughter? Original post. Me and my daughter used to be best friends. We did everything together. She was the light of my life. But things started to change in her teens. Moodiness, lashing out, lies, etc. I just thought it had something to do with her age and that she would grow out of it. I really tried everything. Family therapy, long talks about how much I loved her, none of it worked. She would either roll her eyes back or spit out more of her venom. My husband works really long hours and isn't much of a help, to be honest. My husband is white and I am black, and my daughter is mixed, but she looks white. She really takes after her father. This is relevant. I really don't know what I did wrong, but her dislike for me began to become pure hatred. She would question all the time how someone like me could be her mother when she was white and I was black. At some point, she even demanded a DNA test. I said sure, if she paid for it. She was not pleased with the results. She is 17 now and has begun dating this white boy, and she is head over heels for him. She refused to let me meet him and told me that having a jobless in for a mother truly ashamed of her. I am a stay-at-home mom, and I don't think I've ever experienced such pain. Long story short, I couldn't take her abuse anymore and decided to go back to my family in Cuba. My daughter couldn't be bothered to even say goodbye to me. A few days ago, I received a message from my daughter asking for forgiveness. Lots of how she can't fit, is in a really dark place, and lots of excuses. It may sound cold, but I don't want to see her face. I don't care about her apologies. I thought I made the right decision, but my husband thinks I should really hear her out and forgive her. My family has been hassling me to go back to Miami and make peace with her, especially mother, and friends have been reaching out and have even called me an SHTTY mom for not forgiving her and how I must have done something for her to behave the way that she has. My anxiety is over the roof. I am back on my pills now. Is this really my fault? Am I the a-hole? Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. As a mixed person, I would never say that to my black parent and would never say that to anyone, period. She is your daughter, so I wouldn't kick her out of your life forever. Not that you were implying that. But remember this, and don't forgive her right away. I would suggest therapy or time away for yourself. Also, you are not a SHTTY mom. Yeah, if she's 17 just now, then I'd say she may grow into a totally different person than the kid who treated Op like this. I am also mixed and cannot imagine saying this to a parent. A lot of young teens say and do horrific SHT, feel bad and learn from it and grow into decent adults. There definitely needs to be therapy and get into why she was acting like this. Healing wounds, discussing seemingly enabling dad, etc. But nobody will fault you if it takes a while before you even want that Op. I have to wonder who is filling the daughter's head with this crap. Does this come from school, social media, etc.? It may be better if the daughter flew down to see Op paid by both parents. That way she can meet her mom's side of the family and see what life is like for them, get to know the Cuban side a bit better. Op isn't required to uproot her life just because the daughter has had a sudden change of heart. Daughter has to earn it. Absolutely not the a-hole. I hate to say it, but your daughter has been emotionally abusing you and your husband seems to be complicit in this abuse. Not the a-hole. If any of us said anything half that hateful to my mother, Dad would have been all over us. That would not be accepted, and it would be clear what our error was. Where was her husband in this? I know it's been 3 years, but several people still ask me about it because they saw my post on TikTok or other media, so I wanted to make this post to thank everybody who made such a kind and sensible advice 3 years ago. Even though I didn't reply, I read most of the replies, good or bad. And I am thankful for all of you who encouraged me to give my daughter a second chance. I'll summarize it. I went back to Miami, and she gave me a heartfelt apology and explained all the dark things her boyfriend was getting her into. We got into therapy. Once again, she left her abusive relationship. In these past 3 years, our relationship has become better than ever. It was not easy, but definitely worth it. I'm glad I didn't give up. Thanks. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for labeling all the bottles in the house because my adult children are idiots? I have 2 of my children living with me. One has graduated from college and the other is a junior. I have to purchase medicated shampoo because of a scalp condition. It is by prescription and it is expensive. It also comes in packaging that is meant to be stored upright, not on its side and definitely not upside down. My daughter has her hair products in the shower and I do not touch them. My son also keeps his Axe body wash shampoo conditioner repellent in the shower. I also do not touch it since I have zero desire to smell like a high school locker room. I keep my shampoo in there as well since it's my house, and I can keep my SHT wherever I want. For some reason the 2 of them cannot understand that not all packaging is meant to be upside down. They have already wasted an entire bottle of my shampoo by storing it upside down after they touched it for some reason. It all dripped out of the spout, which is not engineered for that. I talked to both of them, and I explained that they should not touch my stuff, and that if they accidentally tip over my shampoo, it was meant to be stored with a lid at the top. I came home last week to find my shampoo leaking out of the bottle again upside down. I ordered 500 stickers that say this side up with an arrow pointing upwards when the words are upright, and I put them on everything in the house that might leak, with my shampoo being literally covered in them. They had friends over last weekend, and they noticed that the relish, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, etc. were all labeled. My kids were embarrassed when they explained why. They think I'm in a hole for putting labels on everything since they only screw with my shampoo. Since it's $80 a bottle, I said I would take off all the labels if they agree to pay for my shampoo. Thus far, they have declined. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for blowing up at my husband for sharing pics of her daughter's birthday celebration, resulting in my family finding out about it? Ever since my brother passed away at the age of 17 on his birthday, my family decided to never celebrate birthdays ever again. It was Mom and Dad's decision, but because of how much my family loved my brother, extended family decided to do the same and stand in agreement with this decision. My husband would refuse to follow this decision and kept celebrating his birthday. Me and the family didn't say a thing about it since he's not blood family. But when I first got pregnant, the argument about celebrating our daughter's birthday occurred. My family advised me to just not celebrate her birthday since she's a baby and won't even remember anyway. I agreed, but my husband threw a fit and insisted that we celebrate our daughter's first birthday. I caved in eventually, but told him we'd have a small secret celebration so that my family wouldn't find out. He agreed. The next day I got a call from Mom, and she was so upset saying that my word meant nothing, and that I have no respect for my brother's memory nor the family. I asked what she meant, and she told me she saw the birthday pics my husband posted on social media. I was too shocked to even argue. I hung up and went straight to my husband to confront him about it. He got defensive and said that he didn't need my permission to post pics, and that he wanted to show his family the birthday celebration pics since I insisted we have a small secret party and exclude them. I explained to him how this made me look bad and a liar to my family, but he said they can get over it and called my mom Snoopy. I blew up at him, and we had a huge fight about it. He started sulking later and said I ruined the memory of her daughter's first birthday for him and verbally abused him with how I lashed out. But I solely did it out of frustration, knowing that what happened caused a massive problem between me and my family. Now he's expecting an apology from me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the advices. Yes, the a-hole and your family. This is out of control. That is an insane thing to agree to concerning people who weren't even born at the time. Your children and husband did not consent to this. It honestly sounds like your family might need some therapy all around. It is sad someone died, but the living should not have to pay a price for it every year. Birthdays are about celebrating the life of the person born on that day, not about the death of a person born on a different day. Ida, I bet your brother would be appalled. This was his legacy, telling everyone that their life isn't as important as his. You do look bad, and you are a liar. You should have stood up and said, "We are celebrating the life of my daughter," to your family. Go apologize to your husband. I would feel this would make a child resent the memory of their uncle more than anything, right? This is so disrespectful to that young man who passed away. If I found out my memory was being used as an excuse to deprive my family and literally babies of joy and celebrations and birthdays, I would haunt the HLL out of everyone. As your daughter gets older and begins to realize that other kids get to celebrate their birthdays, how are you going to handle this? Are you and your family going to make her feel bad/guilty for wanting to celebrate her birthday like other kids do? 100% op. You are trying to please your parents at the expense of your husband and child. Grow up. Tell your family you are not going to punish your child for being born and that going forward you will celebrate birthdays. Holy crap. Also, apologize to your husband. How dare you tell him he can't celebrate his daughter's birthday and that he can't share pictures? Your family made an awful rule and you're literally forcing your husband to do the same. You yelled at a man that was wanting to celebrate his daughter because you haven't cut the umbilical cord attached to your mom. Grow a spine and stand up for your family. I would see you wanting to please your parents over your daughter as a red flag if I were your husband. He's absolutely right, and you are terribly wrong. I was a kid in a very similar situation with my family. I didn't resent my uncle at all, but was definitely deeply hurt by my family. It took until I was in my 30s to say, hey, this is awful that this was done to me. Everyone still had so much unresolved trauma around it that they hadn't even thought about what it did to me. We celebrated birthdays, but the death anniversary was the day before my birthday. So the unresolved trauma and mourning came every year along with my birthday. Edit. Please don't do this to your daughter. Yeah, my cousin died in a horrific crash just before his life was about to get really fun and interesting. We all drink Coors Light, his brand of beer, on his birthday and anniversary and post pictures wherever we are. It's going on 20 years and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Never celebrating birthdays again is abusive to other children. Abusing their daughter because she allowed a birthday party for their grandchild is absolutely unhinged. Op, you only made that promise under duress. They were emotionally manipulating you and are continuing to do so. You and your family need therapy. You and your husband need couples counseling because you absolutely are harming not just your relationship with your husband, but also potentially your daughter's development and growth. The grown-up XJWs that I know all harbor a lot of resentment over never being allowed to celebrate, let alone get celebrated by their family. Also, have you thought about what will happen when your daughter is in daycare/school and other kids have birthdays and parties and presents and cupcakes? Do you seriously expect a child to understand why a long-dead relative means she can't have a normal childhood? What does she tell her friends? I don't have birthday parties because my uncle died. Everyone has uncles that pass away. Granted, your family has suffered an incredible loss, but your parents will absolutely harm your child if allowed contact without professional intervention.